allow me to fill you in on what my last weekend was like, traveling to Chicago to see J-Hope in concert. That's what it feels like. Because not only did I get to see J-Hope in concert, he was right there. I could have touched him. I mean, if I ran really far, really fast, past security, and I was super out of breath, I could have touched him. But let me tell you, because there's a whole thing. I didn't just go to the concert, okay? I went to Chicago to meet the Chicago Couch Crew. How many Chicago Couch Crew do we have here tonight? I know I saw Et here. I think she's working. I know I saw Lisa. Who else do we have? That's right, Lulu. I was going to get to that. Spoiler, damn it. There's Jen. Hi, Jen. There's Lisa. There's Joyce. There's Tanya. Yay. And then, of course, Sam. So let me tell you, I got to meet Lulu, too. Lulu and I have been Discording and live streaming and nonsensing for 3 years now. 3 years. And I have never met Lulu. And then she also went to Chicago. And we met up for about 45 minutes of drinks. Yep, she was my official luber. It feels different when I say it out loud. She was my Uber, but her name is Lou. Yeah. So anyway, so we met up for drinks, and I got to see Lou face to face in real time. She gave me a ride like I was a toddler. She strapped me in. We went to the bar. We went to the Uno Pizzeria, and we had drinks, and we chatted, and we giggled, and it was a great time. And then lo and behold, about an hour later, I see this squad of people I have never met before, but I know them all by name, come traipsing through the door like Conor McGregor. And I was like, Aunt! And I ran over and I gave her a big hug and I picked her up. And then Joyce came in and Lisa came in and Joyce's husband came in and I got to meet everybody and I knew them all by name right away. No questions asked. So we moved over to the table. We had about 12 of us. And then just a little bit later, Miss Tanya and Miss Jen came in. And of course, I recognized them because they have shared selfies in the Discord. So I knew exactly who they were. And I called them by name. Oh, Jen, it's so good to finally meet you. And Miss Tanya, it's so good to meet you. And then we got to meet Lolly, who is also somebody that has been in our journey for 3+ years. And we got to meet her friend and her daughters. And it was just all 300 of us around this table eating pizza. It was awesome. And it was literally just like sitting with friends. There was no pressure. There was no stress. I mean, Lulu was sick as all hell, and I felt bad for her. But I just kept stuffing mozzarella cheese sticks in that mouth. This'll make you feel better. Like a wood chipper. It was great. Works every time. So we ate pizza. We had treats. We had drinks. And we had a nice, easy night. And I got to try deep dish pizza from Chicago for the first time. And let me tell you, it was glorious. I'll tell you why it was glorious. I used to think that deep dish pizza was just standard pizza, but like 3 of them smashed on top of each other like a lasagna, like a pizza lasagna. That's what I thought. Deep dish pizza is the crust and then cheese on top of the crust, and then a layer of pressed meat. Now, anytime I've said pressed meat in the past, it has meant a very different thing. But this time, it was wonderful. It was this layer of pressed meat and flavor, and then on top of the pressed meat was sauce and flavors. It was incredible. It was so good. And what's crazy is, I'm so loud right now. Sorry, not sorry. I took a normal sized piece, right? I cut it in half, and then Lulu took half and I took half. And aside from a couple cheese sticks, that's all I ate. I was done. Now, Lulu, who was getting sick, was pretty much sweating for a while. I was also sweating, but that's just because I was stuffing my face with fried foods like an animal, and it was awesome. But gifts went around and chatting went around. It was great. And then Lulu gave me a ride home. I got to meet everybody. We got to chat. We had lots of good conversation. It was awesome. It really was like being with friends. No pressure, no stress. So after we overcame the meat sweats, thank you, Sarah, Lou gave me a ride back to the hotel, pretty much had the night off, and then the next day was the concert. Now, I was traveling by my lonesome, so I had no furt with me. It was just me in the hotel room by my lonesome with a TV and a credit card. Whew. I am hungry on Monday morning. What can I get? Oh, DoorDash, bring food to my room. So I ordered some breakfast stuff from this place called Einstein Bagel Bros or something like that. And they brought me this gigantic breakfast sandwich with a giant cookie and a giant chocolate chip muffin. And it was good, but it made me sick. Like nausea, headache, feel terrible. Like, bro, I just traveled to Chicago to see J-Hope and hang out with my ladies. No sandwich is going to ruin this for me. So I was like, okay, I need to clamp down. So I went back to bed. I just kind of rolled around. I watched Friends for several hours. And then Lulu hit me up around, 10 o'clock. And she said, so did you want to do lunch or something? What do you have in mind? I said, well, I'm not feeling great right now, but give me a little bit of time. Maybe it'll pass and then we can do something. So that's fine. I'm in no rush. I took some medicine because I'm not feeling great either. We'll figure it out at noon. Sounds good. Well, at noontime, she messaged me and said, I took some medicine. I need some time. Let's just hang out on our own and I'll meet you for dinner with everybody when we go to Korean barbecue. And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, my God, thank God you said that. Because I was miserable. I was willing to take the heat and go for it and push through. But thank God she said no. I mean, I wanted to spend more time with her, but man, I was miserable. And so was she. So, had a few more hours in the room. Thankfully, it kind of subsided. I wasn't sweating as much. The headache went away. The nausea went away. And I was good enough to travel. So then we went to Korean barbecue. My first time doing real, non-cruise ship Korean barbecue. Well, guess who shows up at the restaurant? Tall, handsome, masculine sunshine face, dimples, really kind of a turd biscuit in his own right. Mr. John Reeves live shows up at the restaurant. Now, it wasn't happenstance. He flew in from L.A. that day, that morning. So he met us for dinner. We had all 10 of us around the table. And the table consists of 2 grills. And then you order these meat piles. Just piles of meat that you throw on the grill. And I don't know who was running the show down on the other side, but Lisa was right next to me, and she did a wonderful job of moving stuff and cutting stuff. Giant meat scissors came out, chop, chop, chop. Oh, it was awesome. And they'd come around and bring this, and then there was this stuff called cheese corn, which was cheese and corn together. I did not think that corn could taste so good. Now, I think it was probably the cheese, but the corn was a nice touch. So we ate all the things. We ate spicy chicken, regular chicken, pork belly, pork shoulder, and a bunch of other stuff. It was incredible. It was incredible. Just eating off the grill, just grabbing hunks of meat and stuffing our faces. More gifts came around. I showed you the socks that Miss Tanya gave me that have the dope characters on them. John tried to paint my fingernails with purple glitter. And we shared a glass of, or a bottle of soju for the table. We did a little cheers. And that was my first extremely successful time at Korean barbecue. There was no screaming. There was no singing. It was delicious food, good company. It was awesome. And then came time for the concert. So we had 3 cars full of people. We pulled around the corner. Oh, let me back up just a touch. So John is across from me at dinner. And he goes, bro, have you ever been to one of these concerts and shows and stuff? And I was like, nope. This is literally the 4th concert I have ever been to in my entire life. And he was like, you're going to get swarmed. And I was like, why? He was like, I've been to a lot of concerts. People scream and they run up to us. And I was like, nope. He was like, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm warning you now, you're going to get swarmed. I was like, I don't buy it. I said, maybe you'll have that problem. You're like 3 feet taller than everybody else around. I'll probably hide down in the sea of people. We're good. He was like, okay, smug. Is that what I look like when we do that? It's crazy. So we get to the concert. Thankfully, because we had a suite at the concert with all 10 of us in this one section, we got this little parking area towards the back. And let me tell you how my anxiety went from here to here when we turned the corner to the arena and there were thousands of people. Thousands of people. For those of you that feel bad because you didn't know I was going to Chicago, that's what was supposed to happen. Nobody was supposed to know, and the whole Chicago couch crew was sworn to secrecy. Yup, nobody knew. They did a good job. So we pulled in, we parked, and there were lines upon lines of people in every direction out of every door in that building. And thankfully, Joyce, being the queen bee that she is, goes right up to a security guard and she goes, boom. He was like, you walk right through that door. No line, go right through that door. And she was like, and I was like, damn, I need to learn that trick. It doesn't work when I do it. So we tread right through the doors, right past the line, go through the doors. And here is this fella goes, boop, 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 right through our tickets, and we are standing in a sea of people. A sea of people. There are lines to and from everywhere. Every bathroom has a line of hundreds of people. Every food spot, merch spot, everything is a line of hundreds of people in every direction. And then there are lines like choo-choo trains of people that are like traveling through all the different lines. And I'm like, I'm just waiting to get swarmed, right? Lulu turns around. She goes, and then she turns back and she just takes off, just like a point man, just and starts moving through this sea of people. And Joyce is right behind her, hand on her shoulder, dun, 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 dun. And I was like, ooh, I know this game. So I grab Joyce's shoulder, dun, 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 and we start moving through the sea of people. And we're going down this hallway and down that hallway, and there's people left and right, and we're flying by, and nobody sees me, nobody says anything. And we travel for what seems like a full day, and then we stop. And Lulu turns around and I'm like, oh, I guess we're here. So I look around. I'm literally like the toddler on this journey. So I'm like, oh, I guess we're here. And I'm looking around for the door and she just looks kind of clueless. And I go, do you know where you're going? And she was like, nope, I'm just walking. I'm like, oh, Okay. So we start looking around. Well, here comes Joyce, pulls out her eyelashes again, goes over to a security guard, gives him the... And it's at this point, I'm on one side of the hallway, Lulu is on the other side of the hallway, and Joyce is over there talking to a security guard. And there's a train of people, one after the next, just moving and cruising through. And all of a sudden, this one girl walks by me, and she does the double take. And she stops, and all the sea of people just start backing up, irritated. And she stares at me. She's just, and I was like, and then she kind of looks me up and down, and I'm like, what the hell do I say? Does she think I'm does she think I'm John? Does she think I'm JK? Does she think I'm Keanu Reeves at a K-pop concert? That is what the K stands for, by the way. So she's holding 2 drinks and a bunch of stuff, and she sees me, does the double take, looks up and down, and then she starts fiddling. What do I do? And I'm like, do you want me to hold something? And she goes, she holds everything, she puts out her hand, and she goes, love your stuff. And I was like, thanks. And then she disappeared into the sea, and I was like, yes! That's the kind of meetup that I can handle. And she was gone. That was the only person that spotted me. And I was so grateful because here came Joyce and she grabbed me and Lulu like kids, picked us up. And then before you know it, there's Lisa waving to us. Boom, we're in the door closed. Oh, we did it. Oh, but it's not time yet. We get into the booth. It's a nice little mini kitchen. We got a private bathroom. It's a nice little joint. And then we got 10 concert seats right out in front of the booth. It's glorious. We get out there. We get settled in. We get about 45 minutes before the show starts. I'm just looking out over all these thousands of people. How cool is this? And of course, because it's me, I got to like look out over the balcony at all the people. Then we spot Lolly up there waving to her. And I thought, well, I did it. I got here. I'm safe. Everything's fine. Here comes John. Comes back in the booth. All right, we got about 45 minutes. I'm going to go roam around. I was like, you going to roam around? He was like, yep. And then he walked out of the safety of the booth. What? John just couldn't wait to go meet people. Oh, my God. Oh, he just couldn't wait. He came back and he was like, oh, yeah, I met Sleep over there. And the Queen of England was over there. It was crazy. He was gone forever. And he finally came back. We got situated. And I did the little live stream that you saw. I wanted to introduce everybody. I wanted to show you that I was there. And here's where it got a little more interesting. There's no opener at the J-Hope concert. It's literally a video starts. I got my army bomb. You can see it right up there, right there with the gin wardrobe. The video starts. The stage starts to move around. Big curtain over it, like a blanket. And then all of a sudden, the music punches up, the lights come on, and there's Hobie standing all by himself up top with that one microphone, and he's just getting after it. This is the point where I started to cry. I don't know what, actually, I know exactly what came over me, okay? Lulu can attest to this. I stood there and I saw him. And I wasn't fanboying, okay? I saw him, and it was like this rush of emotion of understanding that my life has changed so much in the last 3 years to start from this one point where I was like, I want to know their names. I said, get their names, I'm good to go. And then here's Hobie standing right there in real life, and the tears just started coming. Oh, it was crazy. So I had a little emotion. Not a huge deal. They don't make it weird, but I got a little emotional. And the songs were bumping and he was doing the dance and the dancers came out. They had videos going on and all these little like BU type of trailers that I have never seen before. So I'm just like a little kid trying to break him down in real time. Okay, there's his birthday. The clock says his birthday. Okay, the license plate. Oh yeah. And I'm just like in real time. At one point, Tanya, sweet Tanya, looks over at me and she sees me and she's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, like a kid watching Jumanji for the first time. I was probably drooling. I didn't know it. So the videos all play. The songs are coming. They do Chicken Noodle Soup. Do all these great songs. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but great set list. And then all of a sudden, this song comes on. And I go from waving my army bomb and screaming the words, which I will admit to you because I'm usually too honest for my own good. I learned at this concert that I don't actually know any of the words of these songs. I just make noises that I think is what they're doing in the song. Yep, I'm just making noise. So like Tanya's over here and Lulu's over here and they're singing along like perfect Korean and I'm just, chicken noodle soup. Yep, no idea. So that's just a revelation I had. And all of a sudden I go from waving my bomb and cheering and screaming, noises. And then this song comes on and I'm listening. I'm like, these noises don't sound familiar. And I just literally go from chaos to like something's happening. I don't understand it. Yeah, complete jaw drop. And I'm listening and I look over at Lulu and she was like, spoiler. And I was like, huh. And I turn back around and here's Hobie singing Mona Lisa. Okay. Hasn't even been released yet at this point. And when I heard the lyrics is when I was like, oh, that makes way more sense. Because Hobie was wearing a giant bedazzled belt buckle that I thought said Montana, like Hannah Montana. And I was like, is there going to be a Hannah Montana collab with Hobie? I didn't see that coming. But no, it was Mona Lisa. Because later they zoomed in on it. And I was like, oh, and that's when he patted his belt buckle and everybody went crazy. Hell, every time he picked up a bottle of water, everybody lost their damn mind. I'm like, what is happening? The amount of barking that happened in that stadium, you would have thought it was a dog kennel. An over-capacity dog kennel. It's crazy. Did I do the fan chant? Yes, I did. I messed it up every time, but I did it. Because by the time I realized they were doing it, I was like 5 names too slow. And then I got just enough time to go, BTS. Yeah, I did my first fan chant in public. Yep. How loud was it? It wasn't too bad because we were, we weren't like right up on the speakers. We had a little booth. It was nice. So the concert was amazing. Seeing him up there and listening to him talk and walk around and literally talk to us in real time was a completely different experience than what you see in the fan cams and what you see in the videos. It does not do it justice. But let me tell you, and I'm not embellishing when I say this, I'm not making a joke. The way that I felt watching Hobie up there do his show made me realize I am so not ready to see all 7 of them out there at the same time being BTS. I said that to Lulu. I was like, I'm going to die. Like my head is going to explode. I don't think I'm ready. Now, thankfully, I don't have to be ready because I got some time, but I am determined to make that happen. Now, I don't want to have to be in the sea of people. So hopefully I'll get some friends with connections at some point. It's not the same when I wiggle my eyelashes. Yeah. I think we got at least a year until it's time. So I think we're all kind of in trouble. But yeah, exactly. Assuming I can even get tickets for sure. But the concert was amazing. We left the show. It was easy. We didn't get swarmed. And then we kind of parted ways. That was it. And then I flew back and everything was fine. So it was an incredibly successful trip. I got to meet my girls. I got to meet my Lulu finally after all these years. And I could not have asked for a better group of people to welcome me in. And I thought what was really cool, this was actually one of the highlights of the trip. The concert was amazing and meeting everybody was incredible. But there was this one moment at dinner, the first night with pizza, where I asked Joyce, who was sitting next to me, I was like, so remind me, how do you all know each other? And she was like, from you. And I was like, no. I know you all watch me, but how did you meet? And she was like, no, it was you. She was like, no, we got on the Discord and I was able to find the people that were in this area. And then there you go. And then before you know it, they've got this really great little crew of people. I got to meet Sam the next day. She went to the concert with us. And it was really, really awesome. And I regret nothing. It was great. And I'm extremely grateful that it went the way that it did. And I'm more so grateful that they were all really cool and really awesome, because that could have been super awkward for me if you were all weirdos. And did I get merch? Aside from the gifts that I got from the ladies, I did not get merch, because when we approached the arena, one of the lines that went to the next state was the merch line. And I was like, nope, forget it. I'll get it on eBay. Frenchie, stop. You are weirdos, but you're the best kind of weirdos. Yep. And if they took a snippet of my hair, I'm okay with it. They earned it. So I know that was probably the most long, drawn out way I could have explained that story, but I wanted you to be there with me. I wanted you to experience it with me, because that's what I went through, and it was awesome.